morning. Thank you for watching News One Sports on channel MHS. I'm Smith Juicy.
And I'm Isabella Veretta. Our top story is we've just reached the midway point of the season, which means it's time to start talking about things like the MVP award. We know you love this stuff, and even if you don't, we do. So in honor of the midseason mark, we pulled a panel of 10 ESPN NFL experts who they think is the league's most valuable player so far. Carson Wentz is in first place, winning by 48 votes. Tom Brady is in second, winning by 39. Alex Smith is in third with 22. And Todd Gurley is in fourth, winning by 8 votes.
In today's news of Week 5 of the 2017 NFL season, two things have not changed. Players continue to protest during the national anthem and still being met with opposition from some fans. Players kneeling or sitting during the anthem to protect racial inequality isn't the only storyline. Teams have continued to respond to comments made by President Donald Trump. It's valid to explore whether these displays of unity take away from the original meaning behind the protest. And although the focus has shifted and many of the demonstrations aren't happening during the actual national anthem, that hasn't stopped fans from being furious about it. In Week 4, the Ravens kneeled before the anthem to pray together as a team. Their intent was announced in the stadium, but fans still booed, making clear their backlash wasn't really about patriotism. It's likely that the protest shows of unity will continue throughout the season. However, this is all we know as so far. We'll update details and demonstrations as they take place.
Just this morning, people have been talking about this Sunday's slate, and there are some surprising teams in strong contention for a playoff spot. The Chiefs sit at the top in the pecking order in Week 9 with the Patriots and the Steelers in the AFC, as we would have expected prior to the season, but the fact that they are also now competing with the Jaguars, Titans, and Bills is much more surprising. Meanwhile, in the NFC, the playoffs could feature players like Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, and Case Keenum. A lot of the unexpected success stories in football this season have to do with the player contribution that the people didn't see coming. These are the most underrated players on each team.
Recently, members of the U.S. women's national soccer team have filed a complaint with the federal government for being paid less than their male counterparts. The complaint highlighted instances where members of the women's team were paid less than their male peers, ranging from sponsorship appearances and other expenses. In 2015 World Cup play, for example, the final outline was women earned 4 times less than the men while performing better. Last year, the women won their third World Cup, while the men have not advanced past quarterfinals in the modern era. This development is the latest when the pay discrimination in professional sports have come to the public's attention.
Tony Romo, the MVP of 2017, who would have thought that Tony Romo would be more valuable in the television booth than on the football field? The former Cowboys quarterback is the best broadcaster to come along than John Madden. He's a half season into his new gig at CBS and is already the best analyst in the game by far.
And our condolences for the Holiday family after the devastating news that last afternoon a tragic event happened when a small airplane crashed into the Gulf of Mexico off the coast of Pasco County, Florida on November 7th. Pasco County Sheriff's Office confirmed that the owner and pilot of the plane was retired Phillies and Blue Jays star Roy Halladay. He was the only person on board and was killed in the crash. He was 40 years old. Halladay was an amateur pilot whose social media accounts were filled with photos and videos of his plane and his flights. He recently purchased an Icon A5 aircraft sports plane. He posted about it buying it a few weeks ago before the crash. The Phillies released the following statement: "We are numb over the very tragic news about Roy Halladay's untimely death. There are no words to describe the sadness that the entire Phillies family is feeling over the loss of one of their most respected human beings to ever play the game. It is with the heaviest of hearts that we pass along our condolences to Brandy, Ryan, and Braden." And on to Victor Mencheka with FNL News.
Thank you, Samantha. The Indianapolis Colts have just released the quarterbacks, Vontae Davis. It was announced Tuesday. The move capped from the blizzard on 6 days between the Colts and Davis, who was scheduled to be for a free agent after the season. 9 weeks could tell us a lot about the NFL. It doesn't seem like it, but 9 weeks are enough to take Jared Goff, a real Francis quarterback, that were enough to convince the Jaguars that the defensive capable of getting heads Ben Roethlisberger and AJ Green, they were even enough to turn the Giants into a cautionary tale against believing the teams forgot about field offensive lines. Qualitative to the 2017 season. Here we go into a few words with George.
Thanks, Victor. Also, Kansas City Royals manager Ned Yost sustained a broken pelvis after a fall on his property in Atlanta. A club official said on Wednesday. Yost was evidently working on a tree stand before he fell. The Royals said Yost is resting comfortably in an Atlanta hospital and is expected to make a full recovery. Back to you, Victor.
A source has confirmed from ESPN on Wednesday night that Davis, after seeking second medical opinions, has made a choice to undergo a season undergoing groin injury. The recommendation that Davis undergo surgery was first reported in the Indianapolis Star. Earlier Wednesday, Davis felt disrespected by how the Colts handled how he left behind the last week's Houston game. The Colts sent out a surprise announcement Saturday, saying that Davis would not make the trip for their game against the Texans the next day. The email said that Davis' situation was a non-injury related. Coach Chuck repeated that several times after that game, leaving Davis behind was the coach's decision. Davis has a different version of the events. Davis said he hasn't played well this season because he is dealing with a groin injury he has suffered against the Pittsburgh in the third preseason game that caused him to miss the 3 weeks of regular season. Quote unquote, a groin tear that I have to deal with, Davis said. I've gotten different opinions on it. One doctor said I should have surgery, the other told me to let it heal. I took the let it heal approach. I came back and probably came back a little too early in the process. I probably hurt my teammates.
3 freshmen on the UCLA men's basketball team accused of shoplifting in the Chinese city of Hangzhou could be months away from returning home while the legal process in their case plays out. ESPN, citing a source with first-hand knowledge, reported Wednesday that Angela Ball, Cody Riley, and Jalen Hill were released on bail after being questioned about stealing sunglasses from a Louis Vuitton store near the team hotel. ESPN's LA-based reporter Arash Markazi is covering the team from China. Chinese officials wouldn't confirm the ESPN report that Ball, Riley, and Hill were arrested. Hua Chunying, a spokeswoman from Chinese Foreign Ministry, said the case had been reported to the U.S. authorities. China is handling the case in accordance with the law and will guarantee the rights in accordance with the law for those involved in the case, she said. Ball's father, LeVar, who is in China, said in a statement on social media that the process could take months. UCLA is in China for a week-long visit and is scheduled to open its season in Shanghai on Saturday against Georgia Tech. When asked about the arrest at a news conference, UCLA coach Steve Alford said the players in question would not.
Live from the Dodgers.
In other news, Jose Altuve of the World Series champions Astros dominated its 26th annual Players' Choice Awards. The 5'6" baseman was selected by his peers as baseball's Player of the Year, as well as the American League Most Outstanding Player for the second consecutive year. Back to you in the studio.
That's all for today. Thank you for watching News 1 Sports on channel MHS.